So this post comes from the best of Reddit updates. And I just want to remind ladies that you can leave quicker. Once you figure out your spouse, your significant other doesn't really like you can leave. The title of this, I read my husband's journal, and in it says that he hates me and hopes I die. Now, that should be clue number one that you should just run. But let's read the post. My husband has kept a semi regular journal throughout our 4 year relationship. He does not keep it hidden, and up until now, I've always respected his privacy. We had a heated conversation, and my gut told me to read it. So after he left for work, I did. He wrote several times that he hates me, and at one point, he said when I was sick, he hoped I would die. When I read those words, I packed up me and our baby and went to a friend's where I'm staying now. I took pictures of all the pages. I told him I just need some space to cool off after our conversation and will be home soon. I booked with my therapist and contacted a lawyer. We had a rough patch recently that lasted about 2 weeks. It was a dark time, but we both pulled through. There was no violence, no moments where I was afraid of him, just sincere conversations about difficult feelings. The notes of hatred correspond with that rough patch. The rest of the journal is tame and reflects the man I know and love, mostly little self pep talks around work and family stuff, goals, habit tracking. He has sent me several warm messages since I left. He said he's glad I'm taking space for myself, that he looks forward to reconnecting when I come home. It's okay to have little hiccups and that he loves me, etc. I was sure our relationship was over the moment I read that he hates me, or even the moment I felt the need to violate his privacy. But the warm messages in the rest of his journal had me wavering a little. I understand the need to blow off steam when things are tense, and journaling is a healthy way to do that. But never in even our darkest moments have I fantasized about his death. Splitting up, maybe, but this feels so sinister. I don't know how I could ever feel safe around him again. Is this just healthy venting and I'm overreacting here? Has anyone else had similar thoughts about a spouse that they then got over? Or is this a man I need to protect myself and my baby from? Edit to add context. The rough patch was about his feelings for another woman. He didn't cheat, but his friendship with her makes me uncomfortable. The part of the journal where he says he hates me was written as a love letter to her. He says he thinks about me dying and being replaced. Goodness. Relevant comments. This person says, I've been married for 17 years. I've never wished my spouse would die. Like what? Does he even know you've seen this? He just left it out there like he wanted you to see this. And are you the mother of his child? The OP says, he doesn't know. I've seen it. He has always left it out. Someone says, it is over. He wrote a love letter in his journal to another woman. You know it is more than a friendship. No matter what he says to your face, stay strong, contact a lawyer, go to your home while he is at work and gather more of your belongings. I am sorry. Don't believe his words now. He is seeing a strong woman stand up for herself, and the reality is hitting him in the face. This person says, email those pictures to at least one person you trust before he finds out you've seen them. Okay, this is update number one. She says, I hope I'm doing this right. Thank you so much for all the advice and words of encouragement. Some of it was tough to read, but still deeply appreciated. Wanted to do an update because a lot of people were concerned for my safety. I took the commenter's advice and sent the pictures to a trusted friend. She pointed out that a passage I initially read as every day I think about telling her actually very clearly says killing her. I guess my brain couldn't comprehend that at first. I received a ton of helpful perspective and support, but that comment in particular might have saved my life. After I digested that, I called a crisis line and they were quite helpful in talking me through the shock. They also put me in touch with a center that's helping me get more affordable legal help. Bought me some more time for my husband, told him I'm enjoying getting out of town and that I'd like to stay an extra night or two. I have therapy tomorrow and an appointment with the social worker to make a safety plan. I feel like I have a good crew of family, friends, and professionals supporting me. Absolutely zero regrets now about reading his journal. My gut told me something was off, but I couldn't have imagined a worst case scenario as bad as this. I'm so glad the inner alarm bells were louder than my conscience this time. Nothing about this marriage is worth risking my life to salvage. Okay, she did an update number 2. Just want to say a huge thank you to this community for helping me through this challenging time. Your comments and messages have been such a comfort, and I'm so touched by the kindness of internet strangers. At the suggestion of the social worker, I reported his journal to the local police, and that was unsurprisingly a 1 out of 10 experience. The officer I spoke to chided me for reading his journal, spoke about his reasonable expectation of privacy, and basically threatened to tell my husband I had reported him. I had to firmly advocate for myself and stress that I was afraid for my life. It was an awful conversation, but now there is at least a record which includes photos of the journal. The family lawyer I spoke to advised me to file a protection order right away. The order would ban him from all contact with me and our child, bar him from our residence, my workplace, and any other places I request. He would then have to prove to a judge that he is a fit parent to be able to see his daughter again. And then we would go to a mediation and try to agree on what visitation would look like. Another wrench in this situation is that we own a business together. I have an appointment with another lawyer this week to discuss what my options are there. The business was my idea. I'm confident I can run it without him and want to, but he's put a lot of time into it and is the main source of income for both of us right now. It's a good money maker, and I'm worried he'd fight me tooth and nail on this. We take turns going in, so I went in as usual on Saturday with a friend and baseball bat. I continued my act of intending to reconcile, doing video calls with the baby. While I was at our workplace, I found another journal, page after page, love letters to this other woman going back months. The progression up from I liked seeing you at the grocery store, I drove past your house today was wild. He writes about how he's deeply in love with her, can't wait to marry her, etc. He wrote about every interaction he's ever had with her, and the poor woman seems completely innocent and oblivious. Even what he perceived as flirting seems like basic politeness. He mentions a few other times he wants me to die. The most recent entry was from the day before. He writes to her that he thinks I might be breaking up with him, but that's fine because he never liked me that much anyway. If he's upset about anything, it's just about losing the house and how the breakup will be perceived by our friends and community. Curious if people think I should warn the other woman. It's my instinct not to, at least not before the ink dries on our impending paperwork. I was already concerned about how he might react to being served with the protection order, most worried that he might try to sabotage our business or trash the house. Given how preoccupied he seems to be with his public image, I made a plan to confront him about the journals and use the protection order as leverage. Here's how it went down. I left the journal and my baby with my friend and went to our house with 2 trusted male friends and the baseball bat. They waited on our porch. I told my husband that if they heard anything louder than a speaking voice, they would come in with the bat. I told him I had to tell him something he wouldn't like to hear, and he needed to know that I had already taken steps to protect myself. I told him I read the journals, specifically what he said about wanting me to die and thinking every day about killing me. I said I had taken photos and that they are backed up, and a trusted friend source also has copies. That I also have the original copy of the journal full of love letters. I wondered until this moment if he had intended for me to find them, but he was obviously blindsided. He tried to say it was just venting, but I told him I would not be taking any chances or entertaining anything he has to say about it. That after reading what I read, I will never trust him or feel safe around him again. I told him that no one knows I told him that no one that knows him knows about this yet. The men on the porch just know that I'm breaking up with him and need support. This was true, aside from the friend that I called to stay with and the other friend that I sent the photos to, who lives across the other side of the country. I said that I'm willing to protect his reputation here if he cooperates with me. I told him I don't even have to ruin his chances with the other woman, but I can. I said that he can either do what I need to feel safe, or I can have that safety court ordered. He asked what I wanted. I said I wanted him to give up the business. We'll sort out the details after I speak to the other lawyer. But for now, I want his keys, and I'll be changing the passwords on everything. He didn't put up any kind of fight. He didn't want to hear anything about what it would look like to go through the courts. He didn't ask about our baby. He just calmly got up, got the keys, and asked if I wanted anything else. I told him that any communication with me should be about the separation logistics only, like arranging a time for me to collect the rest of my things. Since then, he has been blowing up my phone, saying I know his heart. Let's walk back from the edge. Let's talk to a therapist. He's sorry his words hurt me, etc. Each time I just tell him he's crossing my boundaries and he backs off. He apparently told his mom and sister everything, and they're supporting him and getting help. He's been cooperative so far. He's interviewing for a new job, seeing a therapist, and updating me on his movements, though I didn't ask for this. I've temporarily moved in with my parents. My commute to work is longer, but I have help with the baby and home cooked dinners, starting to settle into new routines, doing so much therapy and yoga. I inherited a small cabin before my husband and I met. It is currently being renovated, and the original plan was to move in there with my husband and baby when it's done. The cabin is actually in my mother's name because she's never trusted my husband correctly and wanted me to shield in case of a divorce. Thank you, Mom. So I will have a permanent home for me and baby very soon. The dust still needs to settle, and it could get worse before it gets better, but I'm optimistic at this point. I'm confident I'm going to come out on the other side of this as a badass single mom with an incredible child, a thriving business, and an adorable little home. Honestly, the thought of having all those things on my own without my husband is so freeing. I've got a great village supporting me. Thank you all so much for being part of it. I just want to remind us all to have the survival instinct for yourself and your child. I know that having a relationship is important for some people, but staying alive should also be quite important. And do not give people the benefit of the doubt that threaten you or have made disparaging comments or have made violent or abusive comments, because it is not worth it. You cannot see yourself with that person in the long run, and your children deserve better. I know some people say that some of these things are rage baiting, and I completely understand, but there's still a cautionary tale to be told, even in these types of stories, to set things up, to have friends, to remain friends with some people, and not lose yourself completely to the point that you're not thinking about your survival or the survival of your kids. All right, I know this one was long. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So this wife was venting in the True Off My Chest subreddit. She says, my husband threw all my backless dresses and tops because I am too old for this now. I feel disrespected, but everyone agrees with him. She says, I came home from work last Monday and found my husband spring cleaning. He had thrown away all my backless dresses and tops. Everything. I have some beautiful designer pieces in this mix. Rick Owens, Erdem, Acne Studio, Jill Sander, and some H&M limited collections from back in the mid to late 2000s. I cried for days. I asked him why, and he said that I am too old now for this and it was time I dressed more modestly. I'm turning 40 in June. My mom agrees with him. Basically, everyone is. I cannot stand his existence close to me. I would never have dreamt about deciding anything about the way he is because he is an adult and I trust his judgment. They said it is not the same at all. I feel infantilized to a horrible, painful degree. These people that destroy folks' things absolutely hate them. And women have got to use this as the impetus to just leave. This is a jump off spot to just walk away, because imagine living like this. These people really want to control women. It is evident. It's evident the way that some of these men are hurting plants and pets, throwing away crafts, destroying things, destroying terrariums. It's like, what is going on in their brains that they think that they have the right to destroy women's things? I do not know, but it should be the push that women need to walk away, because this is not a healthy dynamic when a man is this controlling to throw things away. This person says, you're almost 40 and you're too old for this. How about you're too old to be told what you can or cannot wear? You're not a toddler, for F's sake. He can F off, seriously. This person says, I'm 51 now and my husband absolutely loves it when I dress sexy. And we've been together 20 years, married for 18. He would never think of telling me what I can or can't wear or going through my closet to throw things away. He knows I'm a grown woman and can wear what I want, but he also supports my efforts to get dressed up and feel pretty when I go out, whether we're together or not. Your husband seriously disrespected you, and it's pretty crazy that at 40 he thinks you should start dressing like a nun. You're definitely not wrong to be crushed over his behavior, and it's really weird that everyone thinks he's right. Do you live in a very conservative area? I grew up in Texas, and it's still like that in most of the state. I live in the Pacific Northwest now, and women can dress however they want to dress, and no one thinks twice about it. Either way, this isn't a good way to live or feel, and I'm really sorry you're being treated this way, like some kind of child who has to be told what they can and can't do. You deserve better. This person says Vera Wang is 74 and she's still sexy as hell. Martha Stewart is 82 and she's in Sports Illustrated. And my hero, Twyla Tharp, is 82 and she deadlifts 230 pounds. Most of the comments that I've seen under this post were very supportive. It is sucky that her friends and family are supporting him. That definitely kind of sucks. But like that commenter said, is she in a extra conservative space? Because what the F? This person says, you're too old to be in a relationship like this, to be disrespected like this. You deserve to be treated better. Absolutely, we're adults. And even if you're not an adult, even a child deserves to have some kind of control over how they dress within reason. within reason. This person says, this is ex-husband conduct, disgusting, disrespectful, and domineering behavior. This person says, I just can't believe he threw out that you bought without even talking to you. Absolutely. All right, you guys go ahead. Most of these, like I said, are supportive of this woman, but I want to hear from you. What do you think? Jump in. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, share. So this screenshot was shared in the Tinder subreddit. They did not post his picture or his name, but this person is 29, and this is in his about me. This is his about me. Self-respect seems to be dearly missed with women on this app. You guys are exposing yourselves. I see many future cat moms in the making. Let me give a checklist to make it simple. Bikinis or lewd photo? X. Bombed with tats? X. Open to short term? X. Astrology? X. Don't want kids? X. In my blank era? X. Sunday looks like self-care? X. I'm a parent to a fur baby? X. The 1000 cock stare. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but that gets an X. I'm an independent woman. X. Career focused. X. If you are offended, you are on track to being a cat mom. Enjoy. I share this because across culture, country of origin, class, age, generations, they are saying, these men are saying the same thing. They are really trying to get women off of being independent and having the finances to just walk away, because that is what is happening across the board and globally. Women are just like, no, I'm opting out. And it is apparent because this is his about me. This is what he is saying in the about me. He didn't say anything about himself. He didn't say anything about the woman that he wanted. He is basically doing all the red pillar manosphere type of talking points, and it's wild. This person is 29. He's talking about the cat moms in the future, but this is he's going to be one of these single lonely men, because these men are having a hard time being single now that women are opting out. What I find to be so interesting is the women's responses, and the women are pretty much on cold globally. The person that posted this was like, okay. All right, some of the other comments. I don't understand why you would write your filter criteria in your bio. You can just swipe people away who don't tick your criteria. Tony says, because in reality, if he got any matches, he'd immediately be messaging them. He just doesn't get matches and thinks if he states these incel criteria, then the prospective trad wives will say, wow, a real man, and swipe right. This person says that is correct. He wants women who also hate other women like him. Somebody's like, spot on. Now, in the Tinder subreddit, it is a mixture of people. So this person says, he get on well with my ex-wife then. She hates other women. This person says, I doubt he or many of the other guys who talk like this hate women. They just don't respect them. Not like that's any better though. Now, this person says, I don't think nothing stated here was a form of hatred. He has a type and would rather everyone know up front. I don't see an issue with it. This is where I was starting to talk about the mixed bag. This person says, yeah, it sure sounds like he thinks these women are worthy of love and respect. Sarcasm. That person responded with, even if he doesn't, wouldn't mean he hates women. Seems like he is judgmental towards a certain type. If we use that logic, then when women say they have traits they dislike from certain types of men, then we should accuse them of hating men, but we don't. This person said he didn't state a type. He listed a bunch of things that make him see someone as lesser. Stating a type is saying you like brunettes or whatever. And then the person responds with, he was judgmental in the way he conveyed it, but me and you both know he essentially is trying to attract a certain type. Could he have done it better? Sure, but that's his issue to deal with. So these types do kind of stay on code. That man was out of pocket, and it's a good thing that he is because it lets women know the red flags up front. Swipe away from these types. Jump into this one. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. On one hand, society is telling women to go get married. And then women are finding out how men really feel about them, how their significant others really feel about them. This is a theme that I've been seeing today. And these are some of the topics that have been sent to me. And this is wild. This was in the Just Say No Significant Other. I guess that's what SO stands for. I'm not familiar with this subreddit. She said, husband revealed he hated me after the birth of our son. TLC is needed. So she's 28, he's 29. She says, my husband and I have a 9-month-old beautiful little boy. In our relationship, it has been a rocky road. But if I finally started to feel we were working through it until he revealed to me what actually happened. It was a traumatic birth. Both my son and I nearly didn't make it, but we're both good and healthy now. Obviously, after the birth, I needed to be very careful, and I even got hospitalized again postpartum due to high blood pressure. But it wasn't happening. My husband did absolutely nothing. He would stay in bed until 2 p.m., go to bed at 1 a.m., not look after the baby, even invited friends round to hang out, not help with the baby or anything like that. Obviously, this caused a lot of tension, and I became severely depressed, and we would have a lot of fights. Some fights got so aggressive that he would call me a SLUT or a WHORE. He would mock me, accuse me of abusing him, and all sorts of things. I'll be honest, I put this all down to stress from being new parents. I thought he was really struggling with the trauma from nearly losing me and his son. It took some time, but we have just started getting on track. He'll help out more, recognize his behaviors, and we'll talk a lot more about our feelings. I started to feel like a team again. However, in one of our emotional talks the other night, he revealed to me what actually happened. The truth is, he actually hated me after birth. He said he didn't recognize me and would purposely not have anything to do with me. And if he wanted to hurt me, and if he did, he wanted to hurt me. I was too emotional. My body was different. I was needy. I know some people can struggle with seeing those changes in someone they love, but to hate me and essentially make my life as hard as possible after giving birth to our son, it seems a bit abnormal. I'm sad. I wanted to be a mother most of my life. My dreams finally came true, and now it's ruined, tainted with horrific memories, and my self esteem has plummeted. I feel I am so unworthy that even postpartum, I can be so viciously hated. I feel awful for my son. I feel I have just failed everyone. I'm scared now of having any future children. I have a lot to think about. I, man, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. And, I literally don't know what to say, but this is not a productive relationship for her mental and emotional health. She should get away. She certainly should not be having any sexual relations with this man any further because she does not need to get pregnant again. The first pregnancy was already hard on her. She almost lost her life, and she certainly should not be doing that again with this man. Y'all can let me know what you feel about it, but I will go through some of these comments. This is pretty much the summation. Yeah, this is above Reddit's pay grade. See a therapist, protect yourself. I would not continue to be in this relationship. Absolutely. Basically, this person says hate is such a powerful word for him to use, especially after she almost died. Their baby almost died, and then she almost died again. This post makes me so nervous for the OP. You're right, she needs a therapist to talk to, not couples therapy, as some suggest, because when you're in possible danger or with an abusive person, physically, emotionally, financially, therapy with that abuser is not helpful, and the abuser will often weaponize therapy against the victim. She is the one that needs support and help sorting out the next steps. I don't think I would be able to sleep in the same house with that guy, let alone next to him. Basically, that. Period, point blank. Let's end this one here. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.